pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming to the City Council meeting tonight, Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. Happy New Year to everybody. We need to have a motion to approve the agenda for this evening.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, we need to have a motion to open the public hearing tonight for ordinance 2026-1 and ordinance amending ordinance 2025-1.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for ordinance 2026-1.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to open the public hearing at 7:01. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right. This ordinance, ordinance 2026-1 is the amending the ordinance 2025-1, it's our new 2026 fee schedule. If there's anybody that would like to come up for any questions or comments, they're more than welcome to come up and talk from the public.
And just for the record, Mayor, we did publish this in the Lee Sueur County News on December 18th, and the city has not received any written or verbal comments at City Hall about the public hearing this evening.
Okay. Looks like there's no one from the public wishes to speak. So, public hearing.
You're just talking about that issue.
This is just the public hearing for the fee schedule, yes. The open comment will be later. Yep. All right. So if there's no public comment for the public hearing here, we need a motion to close the public hearing here at 7:02.
I make a motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2026-1. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right. Moving on to the consent agenda. On our consent agenda tonight, we have the approval of minutes from the regular council meeting held on December 9th, 2025, approval of claims to be paid, and approval of the special event permit for the annual St. Patrick's Day celebration by the American Legion for March 14th, 2026. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right. Moving on to the public comment. This is where if anybody has any petitions, requests, comments, or communications, you have 3 minutes to state your info, and please come to the podium, state your name, address, and speak how you will.
Anita Yonda on Minnesota Street. I'm here on behalf of the Legion and some citizens who are interested in having some sort of celebration for the 250th anniversary of the country.
Hold on 1 second. Address?
47 West Minnesota Street.
Thank you.
And I've talked to some of the other people that have been involved in other of those kind of I've talked to Becky, I talked to Matt Walscoot and Germscheid,
Dan?
Yeah.
Dan Germscheid, and they like the idea, and so and also on July 25th, we're not going to have a steak fry, so we have an open date that we could, plan it, because we don't want it to interfere with existing 4th of July celebrations or compete with them. But the 25th would work for us, and so I just figured I should bring it to you guys. So if because obviously we need your support to do that.
Mhm.
And, I wasn't here, I was in the military at the time of the 200th anniversary. I was stationed in North Carolina. So I don't know what that bicentennial celebration was like, but I've seen some pictures and it looked like it was a pretty good, and maybe none of you would even remember that, would you?
Yeah, it was pretty big. They had stuff in the courthouse park. I don't remember what they all had there. I know they had like a car show.
Okay,
I think that was the time they even set up soap spot derby races down the hill towards where the old road runner was there.
okay.
Stuff like that. And I think it was like almost a weekend, if I remember right, but not 100% sure.
Yeah, see, I don't know what it was.
I know there's the car show and then a bunch of stuff in the park, and there was vendors there, and there was radio stations giving away stuff and things like that. And I believe there was a parade at the end of it.
Okay,
So that would be this July 25th.
this July 25th. I mean,
Okay.
at least we found a date that would work.
Yep.
And, and I'll be talking to the Lions and the community club and some of the other, like, sportsman's club, and see if they're interested in being involved in it.
I'm sure.
Because we thought we could do a nice parade, and that doesn't seem to be a real difficult thing to do. But I'd like to include more community, not just the businesses, but like 4-H clubs and some of the sports stuff, and, the sports groups, and expand it a little bit more than just always depend on businesses to do it.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
then we could do vendors in the park and maybe food trucks, I don't know. But if somebody said, well, it would be on the same weekend as Klatchke Day, and I said, I don't go to Klatchke Day. And our color guard doesn't go to Klatchke Day, so our color guard would be available. So,
Okay.
anyway, I just wanted to bring it up and, start thinking about it if it's something you're interested in doing. And I thought maybe as a fundraiser, we could do a 50-50 in advance, start doing a 50-50 or something like that, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, and those are things that you'd have to have that, the gambling license to do, so you'd have to work with, I don't know, the Sportsman's Club probably has one, the, Legion, and Legion has one too, so that, I would suggest maybe a raffle of sorts that
Right.
might help out with that as well.
Yeah.
But there are, if July 25th is the date you want it, there's a lot to get done though.
Oh,
I
know.
mean, you gotta get that group together and you gotta get going with that
Yeah.
too, so I think that would be a great idea for the 250th.
I just wanted to make sure you guys, nobody else had something already planned, that was the other thing, so.
As a city, I don't see anything being planned as of,
Okay.
no.
All
So,
right, thank you.
all right,
Thank you.
thank you, Nita. Is there anybody else that would like to come up and speak?
Laura, 161 Park, I'm being very direct about the lease ordinance and how the public input was seen. At the public hearing last month, several residents spoke against the ordinance. Not one person spoke in favor of it. While the public comment may not be a vote, it is concerning when every citizen here raised concerns to be dismissed without clear explanation. To my knowledge, there were 3 reported dog bites in 2025, and at least one involved a dog that was already on leash. That matters because it shows a leash alone does not automatically prevent instances. This ordinance appears to be passed largely based on what-if scenarios. If this is the case, then all activities involving alcohol should also be banned due to the what-if of a scenario. This is not how we normally manage risk. We place trust in people to manage their own alcohol responsibility, and that same trust should be applied to responsible dog owners. When decisions are made like this, responsible dog owners are left to absorb the consequences of that fear. This also raises the question of consistency. If the concern is public safety based on what might happen, why are only dogs being regulated? Free roaming cats trespass on my property, bite and scratch, and impact wildlife. Yet they are not required to be leashed or contained. The safety should be addressed consistently and not selectively. What makes the situation worse is that an option was taken away without providing a solution. The center does not have a designated dog park. There is no fenced or legal space for dogs to safely run or exercise off leash. Suggesting that a 20-foot leash is reasonable substitute for an off-leash activity is unrealistic and not practical for anyone that owns a dog. If safety is truly a concern, then this ordinance is incomplete without a designated space for off-leash exercises. Dog parks help manage activities, reduce neighborhood conflicts, and support responsible ownership. I'm asking the council to do 3 things. 1, explain what information or instances were used to justify this ordinance. 2, explain what would cause the council to review or change this policy. And 3, begin discussions to create a designated dog park in the center. Restrictions without solutions are not leadership. I would also like to add, last minute meetings, put all of our names and addresses down. I would like all of your guys' names and full addresses.
All right. Thank you.
Next agenda item.
Thank you. All right, we have no presentations tonight, so we must go on to the old business. All right, we have the second reading and approval of ordinance number 2026-1, the ordinance amending ordinance 2025-1, the 2025, now 2026 fee schedule. Do you have anything to include on this?
We talked
City
about this,
Administrator?
kind of hash this out, and you saw the edits on the last month's agenda where some changes were made. Most notably, we added significant industrial user fees to this that had never been on there before. And with anticipation of going to kind of a per month charge system with our one significant industrial user. So that's on page 5 down there at the bottom. So it's got those, which I mentioned last meeting too, where it's got the kind of per pound limits and then major violations that was added on there. Those are the most kind of notable changes on there.
All right. Any questions for City Administrator Evans? Everything looks good. Didn't change much from last year. With that, we need a motion to approve resolution number 2026-1.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 2026-1.
Second. We have a motion, a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. All right. And we need to approve the summary of publication for ordinance 2026-1 with the approval of this.
I'll make a motion to approve the summary publication for ordinance 2026-1.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, moving on to new business. We do have the new we need to approve the resolution 2026A. It's a resolution approving the annual appointments and designations with everybody in their similar positions on the city council. I don't see us needing to change anything there. Are there any questions for myself or City Administrator Evans?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2026A, a resolution approving annual appointments and designations.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, moving on to new business, letter B. All right, we got a memo here about updating our new IT at the police department. City Administrator Evans or Chief Overn?
Yeah, I can kind of paraphrase this. Myself and Chief Overman put out a memo to the council, kind of explaining this in a nutshell. We're not very happy with CTS's performance and how they've been handling specifically the police department's IT needs. We've worked with Morse Electronics, the vendor we're proposing to switch to for the police department this evening. In the past on several occasions, more related to hardware items within our squad vehicles. And they've determined us if they're a reputable company and they really understand and know the needs as far as compliance goes, specifically for BCA and state mandates for what the police department needs to do. So myself and Chief Olden feel very comfortable switching out. The rest of the city, I'm going to recommend that we stay with CTS because those needs are continuing to be handled. It's just the police department we're going to be switching out and proposing going with a new server, as you can see in the various quotes in the packet, to go with Morse Electronics and get that onboarded. And they're going to have their own server firewall located at the police department, which is very similar to how other police departments are set up. Right now it's set up as kind of a pass-through through City Hall, and I think that's become challenging on how they have to tunnel through different networks. So that's kind of by and large what we're asking for tonight. We're going to recommend that we do how Morris is different from our CTS contract in the past is they don't do what they call VIP service or manage. You buy a block of time from them, and then as you use the time and needs of the police department are there, then they just take down on those hours and reduce those hours. So we've got a resolution here, 2026B, that kind of outlines that. And we're recommending going with the 100-hour service block, total cost of $10,000. And that sounds steep, but if you look at what the membered service is for CTS on our line item, that's about $12,000. So with some crossover that we're going to have here in the next few months of kind of transitioning out, I think it's going to be pretty much a wash for that contracted services line item. And then the hardware components, software and licensing is going to be a total of $7,242.20. And those are the 4 quotes also in the packet. Like I mentioned, that's going to be the server, the firewall, different licenses types, everything that the police department needs to have that connectivity to the CGIS and BCA and different software programs that they use. So that's kind of what the ask is for tonight. So I'll answer any questions I have, or if you have any questions of Over.
Why Morris?
Yeah, so Morris kind of fixed a lot of issues that we believe CTS created in the past, and they helped us out of a lot of hard spots. And after meeting with Morris and them fixing a couple of these issues, I reached out to a colleague of mine who also has them as their IT provider, and they've been very happy with them. So for us, it was kind of an easy switch. And like I said, we utilize them for hardware within our squad cars. So they helped us with the, what's that component that we switched to in the squad car? No, the other one, Cradle Point. They helped us with Cradle Point, which is a big thing that CTS wanted, but CTS was unable to fulfill that, so we used Morris to do that type of thing. So, and I think in the end, they're a good, reputable company, and from our conversations, we've had several conversations online, they seem to know what they're doing, and they really know BCA compliance and other compliance components. Want to add anything to that?
Just one point, as Dan stated, that 10,000 seems steep upfront, but if we don't use that money, that rolls over into 2027 as well. So it's not like CTS potentially could pay for services that you'll never use. With Morris, you only pay for what you use. So that 10,000 will carry over to 2027. I imagine in the first year to get everything on board, functioning properly, these next 2 months will probably be where the majority of the money goes. And after that, I suspect that it's going to stay pretty idle once they get everything working the way it should.
So do they have anything local, or are they coming down? Okay, they're not coming down from Morris.
No, they're coming, so their main IT guy worked with the BCA for 23 years. He was the head of their security, BCA, the audits,
Okay.
securities. He works for them now, and he lives, I believe, in Atonka.
Okay.
He comes down, and it's just an hourly rate. But very good, very, very good. What I was noticing over the last 2 years is anytime CTS got in over their head, they would reach out to Morris to get the problems fixed. So there we're paying double versus just hire the one that does it.
Gotcha.
Anything else?
No,
Thank you.
nope. Thank you so much, Chief.
Who's got a question?
Mr. Evans, I could be mistaken, but you said the hardware costs 7,000, even though it says it's 17,000 on the paperwork. So I just wanted some clarification because I can't.
Oh, you know what, if people want to look at the in-depth packet, which I encourage them to do so, this can all be viewed on the website. Packets are posted on the website Friday for the meeting.
Is it the 7,000 that you said or the 17,000?
No, it's 17,000 for the 4 quotes. So if you look on the screen now, you see those 4 quotes of the 12,000, the 1,900, the 1,000, and the 2,000. Those are the 4 quotes in the packet. Yep, and anyone who is out there wanting to know and look at these quotes, the packet is on the website.
Any more questions for City Administrator Evans or Chief Over? All right, if not, we need a approval of resolution number 2026B.
I make a motion for approval of resolution number 2026B.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, moving on to reports of the departments and organizations. First, planning zoning, Mr. Block.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Sorry.
Just a quick update. I'm getting phone calls again, cannabis phone calls. Wait and see. I'm trying to think if I should throw the line out and see who bites. But whenever there's a big open building, it seems like the phone rings. We'll wait and see about that. Other than that, we've been working a little bit on sketch plats for land use.
Any questions for Mr. Block? All right, thank you, Corey. All right, liquor store report, Ms. Fickla. Becky, how we doing? Good, good.
Our December 2025 sales were $110,658.56. Our 2025 total sales was $1,218,098.55, and that was an increase from 2024. Our November gambling was $7,136.06. Our December CNN sales were $1,016.88. Then you can see our revenue sources below for December. In December, we had a pepper tournament, music, karaoke, DJ, and a senior Santa anonymous, which went over very well. And I want to thank everybody in the community who participated in that. We were able to give gifts to the Horizon Place, Carriage House, and the nursing home. In January, our event so far last Friday, actually, we had live music by Matt McAllister. Saturday, excuse me. This Friday, January 16th, we have live music by Another Time Around. Saturday, January 24th, we have a dart tournament. Sunday, January 25th, we have a soup contest. And Saturday, January 31st, we have a pepper tournament. Any questions?
Everything going good there, though?
It is.
Everything, the electronic system there?
Yes.
No,
Yep,
good,
it's
good.
going good.
Good, good. Got all the inventory done for the year?
The auditor comes Friday, so
All right, good.
it's gonna be as good as it gets.
Good.
It should be good.
All right. Any questions for Ms. Vickla? No questions. Thanks, Becky. All right, Chief Overn. How we doing?
Good evening. all.
Again.
Good, how are you?
Doing good.
Good. Total number of calls for December 2025 was 163, down a little bit from 2024 of 202. Overall, we had 2,847 calls for service in 2025, which is up about 718 calls from the same time in 2024. Other than that, that's about it.
Just a question, have you had any applicants for the vacant lease, opening?
I was notified that we may have received one today in the mail, by the officer that was working when he came down. I got the mail this afternoon, but I didn't open it yet. I haven't seen it. But otherwise, no.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Chief. All right, moving on to Public Works, Stan Steinborn. How we doing?
Good evening, everyone.
Dan?
Skating rink, we got it open right before Christmas break, but we haven't had the weather for that. It's not in very good shape right now, but I feel like it's gonna get colder, so we'll try to do our best to get that back in shape.
Okay.
The last snow, I think that worked rather well when we, kind of did that little bit of a snow emergency, and there wasn't too many cars parked on the streets. That went pretty good. I know the roads were kind of messy. It was tough to get all that ice and stuff up, but working hard at it. Mother Nature helped us with that.
Yeah.
So. And then I've been in contact with Jesse with LJP about our citywide cleanup. And we're thinking about moving that this year up to April 18th.
April 18th?
Yes, Saturday.
Why is that?
That's the weekend that we have picked. Well,
Normally that's on.
normally it's on. We're gonna have problems with Juneteenth coming up here.
Okay.
We can't work that day.
Okay.
We're thinking maybe moving it ahead, and that's
So, did we always just do it once or twice a year? It was just once, okay.
once a year, yeah.
Okay.
And then for a while we were,
With
like
that,
every year, that's fine, and then when the past,
with that April 18th, is that before or after, before garage sale days? Would you want it, is that smarter, or do you think would be better to do it after garage sale, or does that not matter? Just a thought.
well, see, we kind of come into this whole thing late with LJP, so we have to kind of pick and choose. They got their cities that they've been doing this with forever,
Yep.
so they get first pick.
Gotcha.
So we gotta,
Okay.
whatever we can get.
Okay. Just curious.
Would you move that if it was like Easter weekend or?
Yeah, we have to probably move that. It's not Easter this year.
No.
Okay.
We might have to move it around.
Well, I think it's something we obviously still offer. I think that'll be good.
That's okay, I think I will set that date.
Anybody else have any concerns? No. Nope. All right. Sounds good.
Thank you for the ice skating rink. My kids took advantage of it this year too. They got new skates.
I can
So
see
got into it.
some people out there using it. So
Yeah,
we're
appreciate it.
If they can.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get some more, not that I want cold weather, but make some good ice yet.
Yeah.
And then I just had some numbers as far as garbage, what we hauled over to the Minnesota processing in Mankato there this year. We hauled 448.72 tons of garbage this year. That's down from last year, 20.74 tons less last year. I don't know if people are recycling more or what, but.
How about? Oh, keep going. No, you just keep going. I interrupted you. Go.
Otherwise, I don't know why that's lower, but and that's all I have. Question.
What's the recycling?
See, we don't get weights on that anymore.
Okay.
They just dump the 11 containers twice a week.
Okay.
And that's just a set rate.
All right. Sounds good.
Dan, I have one question, and maybe this was for Mitch, but when we talk about the streets being plowed curb to curb, and you know how we windrow it to the center, yet there's still cars parked in the street, and so after you windrow it, they go and park on there. and then you got a snow, the windrow and the car, does that still mean that it's not clean curb to curb?
That'd be kind of tough to enforce downtown, because we can't get.
Yeah, this was, I mean, like, even where it's not downtown, cause I know the downtown is gonna be a little different, but, I mean, where you have like
We've
residential.
never had an issue with that. I mean, they don't really get in our way for blowing snow. Once it's into the middle, we're fine.
Cause I've even seen it at my place where there's a car on the road, someone has to swerve over there.
Yeah. It's a
There's-
little tougher.
Yeah, it's gonna be, you know,
Keep in mind.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Okay.
Questions?
Any other questions?
You did a great job.
Yeah.
The last time was really, I thought, way better than it was prior.
Is that a new loader and blower setup?
Working good.
Probably.
Good.
Pretty slick.
It was a long day that one day.
Yeah.
Let's put in 17 hours.
Wow. All right, well, thank you so much.
thank you.
All right, administrators report, Mr. Evans.
All right, I'll keep this somewhat brief. Just working on the year reports. We had several due December 31st. Now I'm working on the next round. We've got some state and county reports that are due January 31st, along with some federal OSHA reports. So it's a busy time for front office staff, so we're just working through getting all those reports done and completed. Also, most notable thing I do want to mention is that the EDA been having several meetings, and one thing that they did is they put out a survey, kind of a community baseline survey consisting of 26 questions, and that went live last week. So anybody and they wanted to open it up to anyone that worked or lived here, and anyone interested in participating in a survey can go on the city's website, go to the link. We also have a QR code on the city's Facebook page, and then it also went out on the back of the cards for the utility bills that went out last week as well with the QR code. So we encourage everybody to take that survey. And to spice it up a little bit, they decided to do 5 drawings for residential users, and they can either get a family pool pass, or they can choose to put that towards, if they don't utilize the pool or don't want to, they can put it towards their utility bill. And then the EDA is going to pay for a utility bill for people participating and taking the survey. So that's just kind of an idea that Jim came up with to kind of incentivize people a little bit to take the survey. So hopefully that helps get some participation in a little bit higher. If we could see 30%, that's always kind of a gold standard for surveys, but if we can see north of 30%, I think that would be pretty decent. So.
We have a number that have done it.
No, I'm not facilitating it. That's all through Jim and his team through the EDA. So I'm assuming within the week or two, and I'll reach out and just kind of get some preliminary numbers to see how many people participated.
When does the survey close?
February 5th.
And the EDA did approve for us to hire Jim and this company for this year as well. So it's, yep, so it's good to have him, working with him on many different aspects. So.
Yeah, and kind of like Corey mentioned on some, preliminary sketch plats, we're going to be working pretty heavily with Jim on facilitating that. EDA hired him as a resource, and that is, in the economic development realm. So whenever we can utilize him, I think it's, and that's all I got.
That's all you got? All right, any questions for City Administrator Evans? All right, moving on to commissioners' updates. Commissioner Preisler, how are we doing? Good.
Council, see you. So I was not able to be at the last meeting, so I'll catch up maybe even just with a few things that go back to that. So first of all, and many of you already seen this back in December, but we did set the levy for 2026 at 4.4% increase. Just so you know, from a comparison standpoint, the best we can tell, that's the second lowest county increase in southern Minnesota. So most of the statewide average So, an idea of at least kind of where we came in from that standpoint. Couple of other things, a few other things. The county has selected a contractor for implementing the new records management system, or RMS, that obviously you'll end up working with. And so the county will be in contact with the cities that have got police departments, going through basically a maintenance agreement for that, end up paying their share of it, and the county will actually purchase it. But then the maintenance agreement is basically prorated depending on how many users are on the system. So if you've got a larger police department, you're going to pay a little more. If you've got a smaller police department, you're going to pay less. So it's kind of the fairest way to do it. And so that's something that will be coming here this year. We also got a little surprise that we may end up having to replace, again, this is from the state mandating it, replace all of our consoles at the 911 center, which would be like $400,000. We do have some money set aside to do that, so that shouldn't have to end up going on levy. We have a fund called the 911 fund that we could, there is some money sitting in that we could do that. It wouldn't be something that's probably done this year, but again, one of those things we didn't see. And you get those every once in a while too, and it's just one of those things we didn't see coming. The next thing, and it's kind of hard to avoid in the news now, is fraud. And I wanted to just take a couple minutes to explain how the county approaches some of that. So we have, starting the third year of it now, where we have an investigator, and that is actually a part of the sheriff's department, that is officed and embedded in human services. Okay, so he's officed right over here. And so he's got a background in investigation, been trained to do that sort of thing. And it's a partnership between our sheriff's office and human services, and really with the goal of prevention and recovery. And so you want to prevent it right up front if you can. And then if there are things that end up happening, you want to have the capability to go out and do some calling back if you can. I would say that it has been something that has been quite successful. That's been our experience so far. Prior to that, the county was working with a private company that was doing that on a contract basis, and they did multiple counties. And honestly, we weren't pleased with the results. So that's why the change ended up happening, and that happens sometimes with vendors. Decided to go in-house, and I think it's been something that's been really positive. It's recovered over, just since he started, it's a few $100,000. So it starts to add up. Now, one of the things though is that most of that he's ended up recovering ends up money that's originating either at the federal or at the state level. So if it originated from there, that money goes back to them, even though the county is paying the full cost of the actual enforcement, basically, in this case. So, but it's something that's important. It's something that we take seriously, and it's important, I think, that local governments are stepping up and doing what they should be doing to address this. And again, we're starting our third year of it.
Not to interrupt you, Dave, but is the board considering working with the legislators on getting percentage kickback, per se, to lack of better terms, on if the county is willing to put in the work to get this fraud, you capture a percentage of that type of money, so it doesn't all, for the efforts put into this?
Yeah, that's going to be a discussion item for this legislative session. But I would say, and all of you have sort of seen what financial position that the state is in. They've got a balanced budget for right now, but then it is completely out of balance for the next 2 years. So I guess, and I hate to be a pessimist, but I would say the odds of trying to go and get anything new as far as spending are pretty steep. But you bring up a good point. We've had that discussion. It's something that the Association of Minnesota Counties is going to work on this session. Obviously, that whole issue is going to get discussed, discussed, and everything else. I think an awful lot of there probably take up a lot of the air at the session. It's a short session. Doesn't even start till February 17th. And so they don't have a lot of days to even work, plus it's an election year, which adds its own complexity to things. But long answer to your questions, yes. Then, update on the comprehensive land use plan. Next Thursday, the draft of the comp plan will go in front of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Then the county board will be doing a work session on it on February 2nd, with the goal to have it on our agenda to take action on it on February 17th. Okay, so that's kind of the steps that'll go from here to there. I know on the draft copy I've got a whole bunch of it marked up. I'm assuming that other commissioners do too. And so I do not anticipate that it will end in the current format. I think there'll be some edits and changes and so on that hopefully make it much better. In the meantime, then, once that gets done, then our planning and zoning environmental services department will start redoing the ordinances and basically use the rest of the year to rework our ordinances. So that's where that'll be a lot of work. It'll take some time, and basically just they're not going to do them like all at once. They'll do some certain sections, probably bring those to the board, then come back with other sections and do it kind of gradually. You're going to start out with the sections that are kind of the most complicated, and those are the ones that is required that there ends up being review and comment by the state. Okay, so an example of that is shoreline regulation. DNR has to review that. So we're going to start with the ones that need state review, because if you end with those, you'll sit on your hands waiting for the state review forever. And so we'll start with those and then work through those. So, and the last thing we'll leave you with, and then obviously you can answer any questions if you have them, is that we think we finally got the last check to reimburse the county from FEMA from the flood that happened before. So it's only pushing on 2 years. This one was related to damage that occurred to drainage ditches. And so where that becomes something that's important for the city is that you end up being assessed for any of the stormwater, or even from a discharge standpoint, into the ditch system. So if there ends up being repairs in those ditch systems, that goes back on assessments, right? And then you pass that on to the residents of town. So what we're going to do with this money is about $130,000. It will go back to each of the respective kind of a kitty. In fact, there is a kitty or a pot or a line item that each one of the ditches had. It will go back to each one of those ditches. So it'll help to offset any costs that ended up being incurred to go and do repairs of those ditches after we had the rainfall of over a year and a half ago. So that's it from my standpoint. Any questions that anyone has? All right, thank you for your attention. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner Presser. All right, moving on to other business. Council reports. Anybody have anything? All right. Other business, letter B, city offices will be closed January 19th in observation of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So if you have anything that you need to get done here, please come in the week before or after 19th. So, all right. If that's all, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.